Have you watched The Long Short yet? You should. Everybody should, to understand what happened and how. But it's particularly relevant for directors. Why? Well, it's a metaphor for situations that we also might find ourselves in. It's easy to blame greedy bankers. But what about Volkswagen or Enron? What about Toyota, who sacrificed their reputation for reliability on the altar of growth? And what about Barings Bank and the impact of the uncontrolled Nick Leeson? So, what are the issues in the film for us directors? Well, I suggest three: groupthink, whistleblowers, and moral hazard. So, let's consider the stages of the subprime mortgage crisis as shown in the film. A simple idea grew out of control. It was devised by individuals and not understood by the board. There were no relevant controls. There were maverick thinkers who questioned what was happening. But because what they said contradicted established beliefs, the strong culture and groupthink meant that the banking fraternity could not hear what was being said to them. They went into denial. However, when they recognized the truth, they played the system to protect themselves. They showed no responsibility or commitment to customers. No one was held accountable, and no one has been punished. The legal frameworks have not changed, and the latest that I've heard is that new products are now being developed with exactly the same weaknesses. So what can we learn from this? Well, as I said, it's easy to blame greedy bankers, and also to assume that really big companies like VW are different. Well, let me tell you from my experience. Many years ago, I worked for the chief executive of an international engineering group. I had a roving brief with no direct line management responsibility, so I was able to relate to directors that I was responsible for in a much more open way than other people in the organisation. On one occasion, I returned from a visit to the United States and made my report to the chief executive. His response was disappointing. "No, Richard, that's not what other people are saying." In my early career, I worked in a local authority and I found a mistake in our department's accounts. I went to see the county treasurer and assumed that the error would be put right and the process changed for next year. "Oh no, we can't do that. It would expose us for having been doing it wrongly in the past." One good experience, though, was when I was on a board discussing moving to new premises. All the arguments were in favour, the figures and benefits looked good, and we were ready to approve for the proposal. A fellow director made an important intervention at this stage. "We seem to be in agreement," he said, "and it does seem that this is a good proposal. However, before we finally approve it, let's consider whether there could be any counter-arguments." We did review, and we did go ahead with the proposal, and I learned a valuable lesson. So, when you watch The Long Short, consider your own situation. Are you constantly sensitive to the dangers of groupthink? What arrangements do you have to encourage challenge and welcome whistleblowers? To what extent do your systems discourage or encourage bad behaviours? It's impossible for directors to know everything that's going on. So a healthy culture and good processes are essential for your own protection.